Alright, so today is January the 4th of 2014, and this is Project 14's fourth day, obviously. So, I am, as you may have guessed, back at work in the parking lot, and I got something on my screen. I'm getting ready to go back in to work. It is 6:42 in the evening. So, what I've done today is pretty much sleep. Lately, with the... I'll turn this off here. Lately, what I've been doing with the podcasting stuff, and what I mean by lately is since yesterday, I've been working on setting up an email list for the Life According to Brothers podcast. And my brother Corey and I came up with a name for our email list, and basically is called the Off-Air Pass, the Off-Air Pass, OAP. And what we're going to do with that is people who sign up for that list are going to get basically what's the term? I don't know. They're going to be able to listen to our podcast before anyone else, before anyone on iTunes or Stitcher or any other podcatcher. And they also get, of course, information about what ideas we have, what we're working on for the podcast and for some other things. And also, we will put in there some pictures, that don't go out on the regular website or on Facebook, things like that. We'll do some behind the scenes, off-air pictures, and also some videos. We're going to start probably a YouTube channel, and it is not going to be like doing videos for YouTube, to promote the podcast and stuff like that. Initially, it'll be more for, maybe getting some video of us as we're recording, having somebody there and kind of record a little bit of it, not the entire show, because it can be anywhere from a half hour to an hour so far, based on the first 2 episodes. And we'll take those videos and we can embed them into the, the off-air pass, the email there. And so we don't want to take too much time from the people who would sign up for that list. They'll have to watch like a 15-20 minute video unless there's something really important that comes up that would need that much time. But I'm talking about more, 5 minutes or less, something like that, where it shows us like maybe recording some, or show kind of how we organize some things, or what our setup is like, what area are we doing our podcast in, kind of giving an off-air view of what it is we're doing and how we're doing it. So, kind of get people to know us a little bit better and understand where we're coming from and what kind of setup we have, what kind of conditions we're recording in, things like that, and what our plans are. So there will be quite a few different things that the people on this list, this email list for the off-air pass, will be or will have access to. And so nobody else is going to have that kind of access. And what we ask for in exchange for this is, for the access to this, is just your name and email address. And how that benefits us is different ways. One is just connecting to the audience, to the people who are listening to us. And it also provides us with a whole list of people who may be interested in things that we put out in the future. So we've talked about the possibility of maybe an ebook or something like that later on down the road when we, have some episodes behind us, more like at least a significant amount of episodes behind us. And when we have more thoughts outlined, because for each episode we write down the main concept, main idea for the episode, and then we put some bullet points down on what do we want to talk about it. And then we go through and pretty much just hit on those points as we record. So it's not scripted out. A lot of it's just ad lib. We have the points that we want to hit, and we have some idea of what we want to talk about, and then we just let our personalities carry out the rest. And I think that makes it much easier to listen to. I've heard some podcasts that are completely scripted, and you can tell it's scripted most of the time, unless they are very, very good at reading, but not sounding like they're reading. Sometimes I can do that, but I wouldn't want to do that for a whole podcast. I think that would be exhausting. Yeah. But there are other ideas that my brother Corey and I have had for more than just the podcast. And maybe we'll get to that point eventually. So we'll see. And that's one of the things that I've been working on lately. And I've been working on a way to embed like a direct link to the actual audio file for our podcast. Embed that onto the email that would be sent out to the off-air pass. Those people will subscribe to that email list, so they'd be able to see it first. Because the way I do it, I set it up to publish through Libsyn, our media host. I set it up to publish through them for a specific day and time, like Monday at 12 a.m. But we usually record on Thursday, and by Friday I have it, I have it all the post-production, everything done, as well as the show notes and things. So there've been some hiccups here and there, trying to get things to work a certain way in the way that we want them to. So I've got to work a few little kinks out yet with that, but it'll come. And it, like I said, and I think yesterday's video, that it just takes some time and experience to get some of these things down, experience some of these hiccups, kind of keep a note of them, and maybe we can put together a page on the website that kind of talks about how to get a podcast started, or at least how we did it. I know there are a lot of blog posts and a lot of videos and things like that on how to start a podcast. This is not going to be like a technical thing on how to do it, step by step, but it'll be how we did it. And then some of the things, like tips and things that we come up with, like usually sitting across from your co-host, if you have one, rather than next to them, and kind of outlining rather than scripting, depending on what it is you're doing. There may be certain little things like your intro that you may want scripted, but then the rest of it is just, following some points to keep it natural. And then adding in some sound effects or some sound bites for movies or a speech or whatever. So things like that. Alright, so that's a little snippet of some of the things that we've been talking about and working on. And that's going to be all for today, because this is going on just over 8 minutes now. I'm going to go into work, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.